Good morning. Good morning. It's time to rise and receive. Welcome to your 10-minute morning send off designed to support you in receiving what you most want by unlearning struggle. So, today we are going to talk about forgiveness. If you are somebody who struggles with forgiveness, if you feel that you need to forgive someone else, or maybe more than one person, if you feel that you need to forgive yourself, then today is going to be a contribution to your life. I trust that. I'm confident about that. So, welcome to Rise and Receive. If you're new to me, I am Sonia Miller, speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I am passionate about teaching people how to receive. And one of the things I always like to say is, you can't receive what you most want if you don't know how to receive. And the truth is that receiving is one of the most natural things in the world. However, in our culture, especially in the United States and in this time in history, we are really operating from a place of struggle, learned struggle. And although some struggle in life is natural, a lot of it is learned, and it comes from, at least the way I like to talk about it, an over-reliance on the masculine model of power. So the masculine model of power is based in the hunter, and it's all about thinking and doing. And it's very, very powerful. And yet there's this whole other aspect to fulfillment that comes from really being tapped into the wisdom of the power of the feminine. And when you are able to access that fully, then you realize that if your fulfillment eludes you, it's not because you haven't figured it out yet. It's not because you haven't done enough hard work or taken enough action, but it's actually time to understand how to stop all of that hard work. And what often happens for people is once they begin to look at where they might be over functioning in their lives, and they think, I can't do this anymore, or something's got to change, or I need to stop, the thing that usually happens is, oh no, now what? They don't know where the power is in stopping. They only know that the stopping doesn't work, but what's the alternative? That's what we talk about here. So at Rise and Receive every morning, I pull one card from my brand new Receive card deck. I read to you what's on the card, and it's always a receiving principle for you to explore and experiment with. And then I'll send you off on your day with a mantra, an affirmation. And what I love to offer are willingness mantras, because these are the most powerful form of affirmation I've encountered in my years as a coach. And what that does is it activates the power of invitation. Invitation. So the feminine model of power is about invitation. The masculine model of power is about intention. Both have their places in our lives. And when we know how to access whichever one is needed at any given moment, then we really start to open up to our fulfillment in ways that perhaps was unavailable before. So thank you for being here. And what we're going to do now is settle in for the receive principle of the day. This card is entitled Receive Forgiveness. Receive forgiveness. So I invite you to sit back, let these words wash over you. You can always come back and re-listen, and then we'll unpack forgiveness a little bit more. Okay, so here it goes. Receive forgiveness. Whether toward another or toward yourself, unforgiveness is like a slow-acting poison that drains you of your life force. And yet, if you struggle with unforgiveness, you are not the only one who suffers. At best, you can still function, but everything becomes so much harder when you're weighed down by the chains and shackles of the past. You move through the world as a mere shadow of what you could be. If you are bound by unforgiveness, life can become a solitary proposition. It's you against the world, either because you're lost in blame or lost in unworthiness. At worst, unforgiveness blocks you from receiving the goodness life offers. In order to survive this constricted inflow of nourishment and support, you become a taker, consuming rather than contributing your way through life. Intuitively, we know that forgiveness is freedom from the past, from wanting, from regrets, from blame, from resentment, from guilt, from pain, from worry. And while you may know that forgiveness can set you free, you struggle when you believe that it is something you have the power to do. You can't make your heart forgive. You can, however, invite forgiveness. You see, you already are whole and complete. Nothing is missing. This means that forgiveness is something that already lives within you. When you give up the battle of trying to make forgiveness happen, this makes space for grace to breathe life into the forgiveness that exists within your heart. If you need to forgive, start by giving yourself permission to not forgive. Instead, begin by soothing your pain with a willingness to honor the grief, the anger, or whatever is there. As you fully receive and honor the pain, space will begin to open up. Be gentle. Be willing to receive the grace of forgiveness. And as this invitation further cleanses your soul, keep paying attention. For at some point you may discover that you're willing to experience the divine gift of forgiveness. Open your heart even wider with more willingness. One day you'll realize that freedom and spaciousness have become frequent visitors as the past takes its proper place in the story of your life. You may never agree with what happened. You may wish it were different. Yet forgiveness will show you the path back home to yourself. So that's the Receive Forgiveness card. I hope it's stimulating some awareness, maybe some ahas are occurring for you about your relationship to forgiveness and the possibilities that are here for you. So with this, I'm going to offer you your willingness mantra for the day. I am willing to have the forgiveness that already lives within me come alive for me in my heart. I am willing to have the forgiveness that already lives within me come alive for me in my heart. So in addition to hopefully providing some comfort and some soothing if you are grappling with unforgiveness in any way, I hope you're also connecting the dots with how receiving is directly related to forgiveness. And the beautiful thing is you don't have to forgive first in order to receive. Simply the act of being willing to have forgiveness come alive for you in your heart, the forgiveness that already exists within you, opens you up to more receiving. It's very, very related. All right. So with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I call the difference between fueling your pain versus honoring your pain. Okay, fueling the thing that makes forgiveness difficult versus honoring the thing that makes forgiveness possible. Okay, so basically it boils down to, again, masculine, feminine, mind and heart, or mind and body. Okay, what usually happens when we are stuck in unforgiveness is that our mind fuels a past event, something that occurred, with thoughts. Okay, and the thoughts can be retelling the story over and over again, or trying to fix the situation in our minds, like trying to make sense of it, or replaying ways that we wish it could have been different. And so this fueling through fixing, okay, is actually the thing that fuels the emotions that are within you, the anger, the pain, the grief, the sadness, whatever is there. Because what the mind tries to do is it actually tries to make pain or discomfort or feelings go away. The mind is a problem solver. So the mind relates to feelings in the body as problems to solve. But literally, it's like Mars and Venus. They don't speak the same language. So you can't talk yourself into feeling differently. The best we can do is we can put our attention on something that feels better. And so we start to connect with the good feelings that already exist within us. But if that unforgiveness arises again, then it's not going to be a permanent and lasting freedom. Okay, it's usually sort of a temporary fix or distraction. But when you really experience forgiveness, there's a well-being within you that opens up and takes up more space in your body, in your whole existence, in your consciousness. So the mind wants to fix the feelings, and what that does is it actually creates resistance, and what you resist persists. So it actually fuels the feelings, and it just keeps the unforgiveness going. However, when we bring our awareness into our bodies and we honor the feelings and we become willing to allow the feelings to come, to move through us, to feel them, to experience them fully. And many times this requires support if we're not used to doing this in our lives. If we don't have that sort of a nurturing relationship with our own heart and soul, many times we'll need some support. And that's very much a part of opening up to receiving as well. As we honor the feelings, then what happens is they can actually move through us. Okay? So what you resist persists. What you receive, what you accept, what you honor can transform. It can reveal new possibilities. So fueling versus honoring is a very important distinction. And you know you're honoring because you're feeling in your body. You're feeling emotions, okay? You know that you're fueling when you're in your head. You're analyzing, you're fixing, you're replaying, you're recounting, you're projecting, you're over and over and over again. And that will just keep whatever that source of unforgiveness is in place. So back to the card, one of the things that I like to offer from my own personal experience, I like pretty much every human being that walks this planet has experienced, I've experienced my own share of pain and hardship and adversity. And one of the times that I really got to experience the power of what this card has to teach is when I went through a very painful experience of tremendous betrayal and abandonment. And so for a while there, I was just reeling in the pain of it. And after a while, as I came out of the acute phase of the pain, my awareness, my thinking mind knew, Sonia, you're going to have to forgive because you're just going to suffer. You're just going to suffer. So my mind knew that I should forgive. Okay. But here's the truth. My mind knew that was the right answer. I wanted to fix the pain and the discomfort of life. All right. There's the fixing mind. And yet my whole being was like, I don't want to forgive. I don't want to forgive. I'm really, really angry. So I actually gave myself the permission to not forgive. And I thought, for now, I'm just going to honor the anger. And for a while, that's what I did. I honored the anger and I let it come up and come out in productive and healthy ways. And by the way, if you need help with that, look through my Facebook feed because there is hold on a second, technical issues. My lights are going off. Okay, so go back through my Facebook feed or my YouTube videos because there is a card called Soothe Your Anger. And anger is a very important aspect of opening up to receive when you learn how to honor the anger. So anyway, I honored the anger, okay, in productive and healthy ways. And as that moved on through, I felt a spaciousness open up. And once that opened up, I realized, I'm still not wanting to forgive, but I'm willing to be willing to allow this forgiveness to open up in me. So for a while, my mantra was, I'm willing to be willing to have forgiveness come alive for me. And that was my mantra over and over and over again. And then one day I noticed, something else has opened up. So then I thought, I'm actually willing to have the forgiveness that's in my heart come alive for me. So I practiced that for a while. And then one day I realized I had forgiven. I had forgiven the person. And with that, I made peace with the fact, I'm never going to agree with what happened. I don't like that it happened, but I have space in my heart now to receive myself and to move forward with my life and to let that thing take its proper place. So I offer you all of this, the card, the teaching, and my personal story as an invitation to explore how you can invite the grace and the freedom that's possible through forgiveness in your own life. And again, to know that when you're in unforgiveness, you're not the only one who suffers. So this is a very powerful concept. Receive forgiveness. And with that, here's your willingness mantra for the day. If this resonates for you, try it on, practice it, See which tidbit from this you can take into your life and let it open you up to the flow of the kindness of life. I am willing to have the forgiveness that already lives within me come alive for me in my heart. So, with that, I have a very exciting bit of news I wanted to share with you today. For those of you who've been showing up to Rise and Receive, there is now a next step that you can take to access the Receive card deck when it comes out in the new year. Go to receivecarddeck.com and check it out. You can actually join the list. And if you join the list by adding your name and email, I will let you know as soon as the cards are available for purchase. And I'll also keep you posted about special bonuses and receiving opportunities that will be exclusively available for early birdies like you. Okay. So thank you for being here. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you tomorrow morning at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.